All right, Vanguard changes. Let's see. Captain America will get reduced health by 25, and then also his shield will be reduced by 50 in health. Doctor Strange has his damage for his normal attack reduced from 18 down to 16. That's fine. Reduce the Maelstrom of Madness conversion ratio of dark magic to damage from 1.3 to 1.2. Okay. Hulk increased base movement speed from 600 to 650. That's awesome. Reduce cooldown of his shield from 12 to 10 seconds and decrease minimum charge time for Incredible Leap from 0.7 to 0.5 seconds. All right, Magneto, increase energy cost for Meteor M from 3100 to 3400. So his alt will take a little bit more to charge. Penny's got a bunch of changes here. Cyber Web Cluster now has a chance to crit reduce movement speed penalty while firing Cyber Web Cluster from 40 to 20%. So Cyber Web Cluster got a huge buff. Increased base health all the way from 650 up to 750. That's huge. The Thing, he has decreased his leaps damage reduction effect for himself and teammates by 30% down to 25%. Thor, he will have increased base health from 525 up to 600, which is awesome, and his movement speed's going from 600 to 650. This is going to make him a way better. Duelists, Black Widow added a new effect where Black Widow can directly shoot after releasing the second kick of Edge Dancer and after using Electroplasm. So in other words, when you kick someone, you can grapple them and kick them again, but this makes it so that you can shoot directly after that instead of having to wait for your gun to reload. Hawkeye has reduced slow effect while charging the bow from 30 to 20%, so he'll be more mobile while he's aiming. Increased both instances of damage for hypersonic arrow from 50 to 55. Increased energy cost of Hunter's Sight, his ultimate, from 3700 to 3100, and improve the bow draw speed increase from 1.35 to 1.5x. That's a huge buff for Hawkeye. Hela increased cooldown for her Astral Flock from 12 to 15 seconds and increased the spell field damage of Piercing Knight from 30 to 35. They've decreased her cooldown time for Soul Drainer from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. Human Torch, you will have reduced attack interval for Fire Cluster from 0.6 seconds to 0.5 seconds. The launch timing of the primary attack projectile has been advanced. He also has an increase of the cooldown for Flaming Meteor from 12 seconds to 15 seconds, but they've added a new effect. After releasing Flaming Meteor, immediately gain 75 bonus health, which will start to fall off 3 seconds later at 30 per second. That's a huge buff for Human Torch. He was a bit weak. So Iron Man has had his hitbox slightly reduced in size, and they added a new feature, so he gains 100 bonus health when activating armor overdrive or gamma overdrive. That will start to fall off 5 seconds later at a rate of 30 per second. Really going to be a huge bonus. Iron Fist, they reduced the bonus max health gain from Harmony Recovery from 150 to 100, but they slow the fall off rate of the health from 25 per second to 15 per second. They've also lowered the fixed damage of Yat Ji Chung Quan from 10 to 9, but they've increased the percent damage of the enemy's max health per strike from 1.7 to 2.1, so he's once again going to be more of a tank buster. And they've decreased the cooldown for Kunlun Kick from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. Mr. Fantastic is having quite a few buffs here. They've increased his base health from 350 to 375. They boost the damage of his stretch punch from 60 to 65 and from 75 to 80 while he's inflated, so he's going to do more damage. Flexible elongation, new effect. So this is when he reaches out his arm to grab you. Enemies within range now suffer a 35% slowing effect. Reduce flexible elongation cooldown from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. They reduced the elasticity gained from elastic strength, the passive ability, from 30 to 20, while elasticity provided from stretch punch is increasing from 5 to 8. And after entering the inflated state, the bonus health provided to self has been reduced from 450 to 400. So he's a little bit less tanky in his inflated state. They added a new feature where when Mr. Fantastic uses his ultimate, he immediately gains bonus health equal to that gained when entering inflated state. So he would gain 400 health. Moon Knight has a huge bunch of changes, a bunch of buffs. So they've increased the crescent dart projectile speed from 1200 to 150 meters a second. Moonblade has a new effect that's been added. You gain 25 bonus health with each enemy hit up to a max of 100. 3 seconds after the bonus health stops increasing, it will start falling off at a rate of 20 per second. So he could get a bunch of extra bonus health from using his right click. His hook pulse startup time after hit from 0.4 to 0.15 seconds. So in other words, he will be able to pull himself faster to get away. They extend the duration of the Hand of Khonshu, his ultimate, from 3.5 seconds to 4.5 seconds, and increase the number of talons generated during this period from 14 to 18. Additionally, the fall speed of the talons has been slightly enhanced. A new damage fall off mechanic for the spell field has been added, beginning at 1.5 meters from the center and reaching to the maximum reduction of 70% at 5 meters. So in other words, the epicenter will do more damage now than being on the outskirts of it. Scarlet Witch, remove chaos control percentage damage while increasing fixed damage from 60 to 80. She also has increased, I can't say that word, burst projectile damage from 35 to 40 and spell field damage from 35 to 40. She also has her cooldown of Mystic Projections been increased from 8 seconds to 10 seconds and reduced phase state time from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Rework the slow effect of her ultimate so that it starts to slow her down at 1.5 seconds instead of starting immediately, and then it'll increase the slowness up to 35% over 3.5 seconds. So she'll be able to enter into combat easier and then slow down and be able to do her ultimate. I think that's a cool buff. Starlord reduced the blaster barrage damage from 80 per second to 75 per second, and they also introduced a new damage fall off mechanic starting at 4 meters and maxing out at 80% reduction at 8 meters, which just means that you won't just be able to jump into a pile of healers and destroy them instantly. Kind of sucks because I like Starlord, but it's fair. Winter Soldier. So they've nerfed Winter Soldier a bit here. They've increased the cooldown time of his bionic hook from 8 seconds to 12 seconds, and they also reduced the base damage of Kraken Impact, his ultimate, from 100 to 80 damage. But they lowered the culling threshold from 20% of the max health to 15. So I still feel like that's bad in both ways. I don't see why they said but. It should just be and. In my opinion, it seems like two bad things. Wolverine. They've increased the rage gained from Savage Claw hits from 7 to 10, while rage gained from Berserk Claw strike has been decreased from 7 to 5. They've reduced rage gained from Feral Leap from 20 to 10, which is huge. And from Vicious Rampage from 20 to 15. However, rage gained from taking damage has been increased from 3 to 5. So we'll see how that plays out. They've also reduced the time an enemy is knocked down from the impact of his ultimate from 1 second to 0.75 seconds. So he... Okay, strategists. Adam Warlock has been nerfed quite a bit here. They've increased the cooldown for Soul Bond from 30 seconds to 40 seconds. And they also made it so that his ultimate, this is actually kind of a good thing. It restores 30% of the fallen ally's max health instead of a fixed 100. So if you're a tank, you won't be like one hit. Cloak and Dagger. This is a change they've made to the ultimate. So the duration of the first 3 healing zones will no longer be calculated separately. Instead, they will remain active until the duration of the final healing zone ends, at which point all of them will be removed together. So that's kind of a cool buff. It just means that their ultimate will not disappear gradually. It'll all disappear at once. Invisible Woman has only had one nerf to her kit so far, and it's to decrease the shield value of Guardian Shield from 300 to 250. This is a pretty big nerf, but it's fair. Loki. They've nerfed Loki. They've increased the regeneration domain cooldown cooldown from 25 seconds to 30 seconds, so I have a little bit harder time countering people's ults. Mantis's max health has been reduced from 275 to 250, which kind of sucks, but they've changed the effect of her healing flower and allied inspiration. It can be stacked now up to a maximum of 16 seconds. So instead of them just kind of canceling each other out, now they stack on top of each other. That's super clutch in my opinion. Rocket Raccoon has been completely reworked. We've got a lot of changes with Rocket, my favorite character. They've decreased the healing area of repair mode spheres from 70 health to 50 health, but they've added a new effect of one-time healing of 55 health to allies hit. So now it's not only healing over time, Rocket's going to be able to add a little bit of burst healing, and you'll be able to keep people alive better in my opinion. But they also made it so that the projectile speed reduction is increased from 4.5 meters a second to 7 meters a second. Extend cooldown for jetpack dash. This is a pretty big nerf in my opinion, from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. And they reduced the distance of the dash from 10 meters to 8 meters, which is messed up, man, because you need those dashes for escapes. So now you're gonna have to be a lot more cautious with how you're using your dashes. They've made a huge change to the ultimate of Rocket. They reduced the damage boost from 40% to 25%, which is a huge reduction, but they added a new effect. During the ability's duration, linked allies will receive an additional 100 bonus health per second, capping at 150. After breaking the link, this bonus starts to fall off after 1 second at a rate of 75 per second. Additionally, increase the energy cost from the ultimate from 3,700 to 4,000. So the ultimate is a huge change. That's a huge change all around for Rocket. That's all of the changes for season 2 so far, guys. Feels balanced and everything is working out, but we'll have to play it by ear.